at 7, I had my birthday in hospital. I had peritonitis, really bad.
Richard Starkey was a robust infant, but he fell dangerously ill in the early summer of 1947. The 6-year-old was diagnosed with infected peritonitis caused by a burst appendix. As he was being wheeled into the emergency operating theatre, Richie requested a cup of tea. The nurse responded, "I'll get you one when you come round, love." She kept her promise, but it was 10 weeks before Richard got his tea. Elsie was told 3 times that her son would not survive the night. Once, on the eve of his 7th birthday. Even when Richie left hospital at the beginning of 1948, convalescence from his surgical wounds was slow and painful. His recovery was further set back when he fell out of bed and ripped out all the stitches in his stomach. A second medical crisis began in early June 1954 when the now 13-year-old Richie complained of chest problems. Returning to the Children's Hospital, he was diagnosed with pleurisy, a form of tuberculosis or TB. This scourge of the urban poor was still endemic in Liverpool and potentially fatal. But the arrival of antibiotics came to the rescue, as he later movingly described.
And then I had my 14th birthday in hospital with tuberculosis. In those days, you took streptomycin and fresh air. They moved us to a greenhouse away from where I lived in Liverpool. And streptomycin was the pill. And put you in bed for months. So I'm in bed like 10 months.
Once the danger was past, Richie was sent off to the hospital's convalescence unit. This was in Heswall, across the Mersey, and away from the severe industrial pollution of the inner city. He spent 10 weeks there, a bored, restless teenager, isolated from his peers and falling ever further behind in educational terms. Volunteers did come to the wards to teach arts, crafts and music. Richie reluctantly learned how to knit, to make baskets and papier-mâché models. But there was only one hospital class that fully fired his imagination.
And to keep us entertained, people would come in, teachers, and one woman used to come in, not so often, but she came in and she had percussive instruments. You know, she had maracas and tambourines and a little drum that you hit, and she'd point to the red dot on the chart and you'd hit the drum, or the yellow dot, you know. And I hit that drum, and it was amazing. I only would play the drum in this mad band that she'd bring in. And I only ever wanted to be a drummer from when I was 13.
Richard Starkey left hospital a poorly educated, physically fragile young teenager, but he was carrying the instrument that would earn him a fortune beyond his wildest dreams.
It just was one of those moments in my life that I wanted to be a drummer.